Welcome back to the couch coverage. Today we have a four-leg parlay for the 1 p.m. slated games. We're going to be looking at four different ones each. Each one of us will take us. We got Kevin, Shane, Jarrell, and me, myself, Zach. We're going to all say one line for the 1 o'clock games to make a four-leg parlay. $40 makes $660. Let's get into it.
For my line, I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers, 1.5 passing TDs. That's crazy low for what performance he had against the Jets. I know the Jets are the Jets, and they're not the Seahawks, but still, you got to recognize 4 touchdowns for a veteran like QB. He's not a Josh Allen. He's not a Lamar. He's not a Justin Fields that's going to run in and get the TD himself. He's gonna pass it. He's an old school guy. I feel like this is crazy low for me. I feel it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I like it. It's at plus 125 right now, so it's positive money. He did throw 4 touchdowns against a good Jets defense. 277 yard party last on this team that he's versing this week. Who does he got again this week? The Seahawks, right? Yeah, so he threw for 2 touchdowns on the Seahawks themselves and with 2 interceptions. So he actually was considered like more of a struggle game, and he still was able to hit this line himself. So I like it. I think that I think Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers are going to throw more than we think. So I'm definitely in on 1.5 passing touchdowns. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, if I go, I think if it was like 2.5, I wouldn't want to do it. It would be a little risky, but I think at 1.5,
Right,
I
that's a
think
lot.
that's very reachable for him, especially I think when he's like very capable of getting 2 touchdowns in this game. So, yeah, 1.5 I think was good. A 2.5, I would say no, but yeah, I go with it.
All right. Who's next? I think
Jarrell, any
you're
thoughts
next.
on this? You like it? Dislike it?
No, man, I like it. That's an easy take.
All right, Shane, let's move on to you. What do you got?
All right, my leg, I have the Rams versus Titans, and I am going with points, so under 42 points. And of course, anytime you do points, yeah, it's a risk. But when I look at this, I mean, Tennessee and the Rams, they both really actually have decent defenses. The Tennessee's offense is the one that's really struggling, even though Cam Ward didn't do real bad. I mean, that's really the struggle last week. And really, the Tennessee has revamped, I'm sorry, their defense. Jeffrey Simmons over there, I mean, they did really well in the last game. They went against Denver, and played a really good game. A lot of people thought Denver would blow them away. So it was more of an offensive issue with Tennessee and their defense. They really did revamp that secondary. I think that's the strength in that defense. So I think they may be able to keep the score down enough, even if Puka and stuff get some, big plays and they do win the game, which I assume they will. I do believe and feel that it will be under the 42.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I say that's a safe bet. I mean, between the two of them, they only scored 26 points in week one. Granted, one of them was going against the Broncos, so there's a good defense there. But I would probably definitely go with the under 42.
All right.
Yeah. And
as of right
again,
now, it looks like both of these. Go ahead, Kevin. Go ahead.
yeah, Titans defense wasn't bad at all. They were able to lock down the offense of Denver. They're not easy to lock down, right?
Yeah,
So,
I think, because some people automatically assumed, oh man, Bo Nix and Cortland Sutton, they're not going to be
yeah.
good this year. I think I think Tennessee did a good job. They spent a lot of time and money on fixing up their secondary, and I think it worked out because I think we can all agree that Sutton's probably going to have a big year, and he didn't really have that kind of big game last week. And Bo Nix, I know fantasy wise, he was obviously low too, but I don't think that's going to be the norm. You know what I mean? That's not norm. So I have to give it to Tennessee. I think the defense is there and, something for them to look forward to. So hopefully for that leg, under 42 will stick.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. I'm not one to bet usually unders just because I think it's scary. I'm not saying it's not good bets. I just think it's a little scary. But like Jarrell said, both these teams actually hit the under last week, pretty well below it. We have a young quarterback and a young team with the Titans who who look like they're going to struggle at least in the first half to be able to score anything. And then, on the Rams side, we got an old quarterback with the back issue already. So, and he has some new pieces that he's still trying to fit in there. So I do agree. I think that this is going to be a defensive game, probably one of the more boring games on the 1 clock. So I think the under fits well here.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go ahead and pass it on to Jarrell now. Jarrell, say the third line of the parlay.
All right, so for my line, I am going with Brenton Strange over 33 and a half yards this week. Last week he got.
Whoa, hold on. You want to
Yeah, let me redo that.
Restart that. You sounded like a robot when you were doing it. Yeah.
All right.
You were sounding pretty robotic.
Does that sound better now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so for my leg of the parlay, I am taking Brenton Strange with over 33 and a half reception yards. Week 1, dude was 4 for 4, 59 yards, averaging just under 15 yards a catch. I'd say it's a pretty solid one. Granted, I know he's going against Carolina. This week he's going against the Bengals, but I still see that as a pretty easy hit. What about you?
Bengals don't have the greatest defense.
Yeah, I like it. Yep. Bengals don't have a good defense. I honestly probably would even raise this one myself to 40 yards. Like I'm a Strange believer. I like him. He's obviously the number 1 tight end there, and he caught all 4 of his targets last week. I'd be willing to even raise this to 40. So I feel like 33 and a half is pretty safe.
Yeah, I sort of
Shane,
go along with
any
that.
Comments?
Yeah, I definitely go along with that. I think, just looking at last week, he is going to get the targets. I think he is going to get the yards. If this was a little higher, like 45 or 50, you start wondering with a tight end, but he is really pretty good. And I think that, he's going to have better games than he did last week. Because, really technically he didn't get like in fantasy, he got 5.9 points. Even though he didn't have a bad week, that he had a good enough week to blow away this leg. You know what I mean? So I think he's probably going to improve. He's definitely talented, and he has the capability to get a touchdown and some other kind of yards. I know this is yards, so touchdown won't matter, but I do believe he'll get over that. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to see him go under 33 and a half, especially when he has the team a good matchup, I would say. So I like this one so far. I think for me, so far we're 3 for 3. I like what we got.
There we go.
All right. So going to the last one. This one's going to be me. We'll go 4 for 4. My line in the parlay is going to be 4 receptions for Kayshon Boutte. Now, his line's actually at 2.5, but I raised this because last week he actually had 8 targets for 6 receptions on 103 yards. Looks like that he may be Drake May's number 1 target with an 82% snap percentage on the field. He's versing the Dolphins this week, and we just saw what Daniel Jones and the Colts did to them. So he got 2 of his targets last week over this line. I believe that we're going to see the same thing this week. Nothing against you, Shane, but it does look like this Dolphins defense, at least in the secondary, is really going to struggle. So, we might as well take advantage of it while we can. So I think 4 receptions is easy money.
I agree with you.
Think any comments?
I agree.
I'm really surprised you didn't raise it even more since he's going against the Dolphins after last week. But yeah, no, I agree with you on the over 3.5.
Yeah, I will say so. If you are watching this video and you're saying for the parlay, maybe if you want to keep it at 2.5 to be a little on the safe side, because that is what the line has it. I really raised it. I alternated it and changed it up. But I don't know. I feel like I'm not going to take a minus 140 bet when I feel like he could get 4 receptions anyways and get us at that plus 110.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, obviously, as a Dolphin fan, I would hope, they're going to do a lot better than they did last week. But, being that, they did look bad on the secondary side and the defense, being that he did just get targeted 8 times, and had 6 receptions for 103 yards. I know it was against Las Vegas. That's another defense that's down there, but yeah, it's only 3.5, so him getting 4 receptions, I think he's very capable of doing that, and I guess I'm sort of torn here because I want us to win the leg, but at the same time, I want the Dolphins to do better this week. So, I hopefully we can win and they can give him 4 catches though. That's what I'm going to hope for.
I mean, he got 8 targets, 6 receptions last week, and they didn't win. Just saying.
Yeah,
he did
true.
it last week, and they didn't even win. So
true. that'll be a good week for me then. If he loses and gets it,
Best
then
case
we're
scenario.
good.
Love that. But all right, guys, you heard it here. That is going to turn $50 into $660. You're going to want to do Kayshon Boutte for 4 receptions, Brenton Strange for 33.5 yards, Titans versus Rams under 42 points, and Aaron Rodgers for 1.5 passing touchdowns. Again, $50 to $660. Any comments, guys? Anything you guys want to say last minute?
Give me that money.
Yeah,
No?
they better give us the money. That's what I'm saying. Just give it up. We're ready.
Get that money.
Give us the shout out.
All right.
All right, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and look out for our next video. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.